TheTotalGamer.com presents.
Hey guys, welcome to Retro for the Win podcast. It's April 9th, 2010. This is Vipor29 along with the two Dans, DanVanDam and SuperDan88. What's going on, guys?
Not doing too bad. It's a pretty hot day today, I suppose, and wearing a sweater. I gotta say, though, I'm feeling pretty peachy. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good.
I hurt my foot, so
Ouch.
I can't walk around too much. But yeah, don't laugh. It's not funny.
No, you said it sounded like you said I hit my fat. I was like, what?
Oh yeah, I hit my fat. No,
I hit my fat every night before I go to sleep.
No, I'll tell the story. Right. The other night I went to my local Asda, which is kind of like the American Walmart sort of thing. It's like a grocery store, but it's open 24 hours a day. And I really wanted some snacks, and it was the only place open. So the quickest way to get there is down a country lane. It's like a half-mile stretch of road with no street lamps, and it's pitch black. And it's the first time I've done it. So I was there with my phone, with the phone light on, just running down there as fast as I could, and I pulled something in my foot. It's really bad. So yeah. Staying off my feet for now.
Your feet?
My feet.
All right, the first topic we're going to talk about tonight is, hey, we're moving to iTunes, and DanVanDam, you got the floor, man.
All right. So, as you guys all know, we're moving over to iTunes, and, well, all of our fans are going to be on. We're going to be, like, pretty hot at iTunes, so therefore we got to... There we go.
What is going on?
I'm teasing you. You had your microphone on, though, that's why.
No, I turned it off.
Alright. Alright, so we're moving to iTunes, guys, and this is a pretty exciting step for everybody here at the Retro for the Win podcast. Now, first off, we're not going to be abandoning YouTube per se. We are going to be posting links that are going to give you guys direct audio feeds as well as iTunes links, so that way if you guys have like phones, PS3s, PSPs, you guys can all access this from the internet browser / you can access it from your Media Go as well. So, as long as you have the URL for the link, you guys can listen to it. As well as we are going to be putting the previous episodes that we upload on iTunes on YouTube at future dates. Sort of, want to use a comparison, sort of like how the Angry Video Game Nerd kind of does it with his old episodes. He kind of re-airs them again, so that people who missed it on the iTunes, or in this case his Sega Master, you guys can kind of recatch it that way as well, kind of like that. But either way, we are going to be obviously keeping loyal to the YouTube community that's helping us so far. So basically, don't think we're going to be leaving you guys alone. We're going to be still here and obviously answering all your lovely questions for us. So that's all I got to say about that. And if you guys have any questions whatsoever about the iTunes feed and how you're going to access it via iTunes, it is going to be all free, so don't worry about that. It's going to be free. If you guys have Macs, it's going to be obviously right up your alley. You probably already have the iTunes all set, ready to burn. So other than that, I'm all set on this end. Over to you, Sean.
Okay, the second topic for tonight, we got a questions from the fans. Pearl Jammer 07 asks, what are your thoughts on the newer controllers coming out for classic systems? Most are built quite well, just do not buy Fighting Putt 6-button controller for the Genesis. It has very poor build quality. I myself haven't tried any of the newer controllers for the classic systems, but I don't know if the other guys have, so send it on over to SuperDan88.
Oh, we're not meditating?
No, I haven't. I don't really go after kind of like. No, it's not. No, I don't know. I don't go after the generation made controllers. I'll generally just go for like the ones made at the time. I'll tell you what I would like though is like a light gun that'll work on an LCD TV. If somebody can modify that would be cool. But in terms of an actual controllers that were made like aftermarket products, you don't really see them that much in the UK really. I'm trying to think of all the systems that I've got and any that I've actually used an aftermarket controller on, and oh no, I lie. That rubbish Mega Drive Genesis thing that I reviewed, that has aftermarket 6-button controllers on it, but they were shaped after the original Mega Drive controllers. But the build quality is really poor, the plastic's thinner. but it still handles like an original 6-button controller. But I have no problem with them remaking controllers. I'd much prefer companies remade power adapters, because I have 5 like NES/SNES systems, and I have 2 AC adapters that'll power all 5 machines, because the AC adapters just die. I'd much prefer that as opposed to controllers. But I can understand, like, if people want like new controllers because the old ones are duffed up, then yeah, it doesn't bother me. What about you, Sean?
Well, as for the newer, like I said, the newer controllers, so the class systems, I haven't tried those, but either way, I would probably just stick with the original controllers anyway, because that's what I'm accustomed to. Anything newer, I'm not gonna really bother with it anyway.
One cool thing I reckon though is if you can get aftermarket infrared controllers, like maybe for the NES or like just wireless controllers. Because as much as I love the NES, and as much as I love like the PC Engine and stuff, it's like cables. I'm so used to the PS3 and 360 now with the wireless controllers. I want wireless controllers, so I wouldn't mind like aftermarket wireless controllers. They'd be pretty cool, I reckon, as long as they felt right in your hands.
Yeah, I think the NES had the had wireless back then. I don't remember what it was called. I think it was from Acclaim. I think it was.
Yeah, most systems did. Like the Mega Drive did, the PC Engine did, but they were like the sort of things where they were so rare and so expensive, and they still are so rare and so expensive. It's just like there's really no point going for them when, since they're infrared, like you have to have them pointed at the little terminal thing. So like if you're one of these people who likes to play and likes to wave the controller around like a madman, it's just like you're gonna break contact and you're just gonna not be able to play the game at all. So I'd like to see proper wireless controllers for classic systems. That's what I would like to see. But probably NES, just wonder if it would be possible to actually make it myself, like make a hub. No, I don't know. It'd be an interesting project, wouldn't it, Sean?
Oh yeah, definitely. Everybody's modding nowadays. I mean, everybody's modding their NESs, their Super Nintendos, so, you know, all these different things. So you never know. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind trying if we're going to talk about a little bit about controllers. Sean, have you ever tried the NES Dogbone controllers? Because I've got an NES 2, but it didn't come with Dogbone controllers, it just came with the square ones. Have you tried them before?
Yep. I used to have that. I used to have the NES 2. That actually, I like that controller a lot better than the original. I'll probably get hate for that, but you know what? Hey, I like it. I like the design.
Is it because it's more curved and it fits in your hand? Because the reason I like the NES controller is because it just sits in your hand, and like you can kind of like, I don't know. It's that sort of shape. I grew up with having a Master System, so I'm used to it. But yeah, I don't know. How
about you, Dan? DanVanDam, you there?
Yeah, I'm obviously here, man. All right.
I'm just kidding with you.
All right, so any aftermarket controls I've ever tried are basically more modern consoles. I have not really encountered too many of these old school controllers that are remarketed for today's demographic. So, in layman's terms, no, I have not tried any controllers to give too much of an assessment of it. All set.
Silence.
Okay, now I think we'll be going on to the third topic for the night, and this one's actually going to be quite a big one, so this one might be the big topic. Super Game Boy, our opinions on it, the Master System add-on, the Atari Lynx, and I believe the Game Boy add-on for the GameCube, right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Yep. All right. So this will be real quick for me. I have the Super Game Boy and the Master System add-on, and I have tried the Game Boy player on the GameCube, and they're all great, and I highly recommend picking them up. I've never tried the Atari Lynx, so can't really have an opinion on that. What about you, Super Dan?
I have the Super Game Boy, of course I do. Everybody does, really. The only problem I have with the Super Game Boy is that you can't make the games full screen. That really, really bothers me that you can't make the games full screen. Along with the GameCube, the GameCube Game Boy player has the same problem. You still have a border around the screen, and when you're playing Game Boy Advance games in particular, it kind of spotters a little bit. It's nowhere near as bad as like the PSP's TV out, which is like a little box in the middle of the screen, but it is noticeable. And since like the Game Boy Advance games are all like pretty much Super Nintendo games, not being able to play them in full screen is a bit of a pain. Although I wouldn't mind trying to get one of those hoary digital controllers for the GameCube. But yeah, I've never tried one of the Master System add-on converters because I've always had a Master System really. Because like unlike in the US, Master Systems are common as muck. Over here, you can pick them up for about £5. There's a few websites I know, so people say, "Oh, well, you can't pick them up for £5 around here." I'll gladly link you to a website where you can pick them up for £5. But yeah, I mean, that's my opinion. And the Atari Lynx, I absolutely love. Well, I love the design of the Atari Lynx 2. I don't have a number 1, I have a number 2. Just because it's not that it's big, it's comfortable in your hands. The back is like padded with rubber, so you can get a good grip on it, and like it's a big solid weight, and it fits perfectly in your hands. And as much as Atari was trying to be kind for left-handed gamers and making it upside down, I am a left-handed gamer, and I can't play it like that. I have to have it the proper way around. And if it's just because I'm too used to it maybe, but yeah, I think that's just a useless kind of feature. It's something like that maybe could have touted at the time, but yeah, the Atari Lynx is great, but the only problem with it is like with most collectible markets is that all the good stuff's expensive, and there's not a huge amount of good stuff on the system, which people will smite me for. But if you compare it to every other system out there, it's probably not way up there for me in terms of like collecting for. The games I've got for it are pretty good, and I find that the Atari Lynx 2 doesn't suck as much battery life as the Game Gear, but yeah, it's really not for me. I've got it just as a piece of my collection, that's it, really.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the Atari Lynx, about the battery life, but yeah, you just answered the question. So, all right, DanVanDam, what about you? Have you tried any of these add-ons and the Atari Lynx?
Yes, I have. Matter of fact, I have. I've tried the Atari Lynx like a couple times at one of those flea market thrift things. It has actually had batteries in there, which I was not certain it was corroded or not, but it did have a game inside of it, which I believe it was Tempest or something like that. It was one of those type of games. I played it, and to my surprise, it was actually a pretty damn good handheld. I mean, yeah, it was some flaws to it, obviously, design-wise. It looks like something you would go down a sled, like a snowy hill with. It looks like a damn surfboard on crack. But above all else, I felt the Atari Lynx was not that bad of a handheld. It could have used improvements, but moving on to that, I did play the Sega Master System. Everyone knows I own one of those as well as the add-on. Obviously, the main system I have is not functional very well. It keeps on and just resets hardcore. So I basically retired it. The add-on I have, it's actually pretty fantastic. It plays the games full on. It handles well, and I think it's a pretty nice... It's practically what you would need. I mean, it's technically a Game Gear. Game Gears are Sega Master Systems portable-wise. And, again, it's a pretty good add-on. The Super Game Boy, I actually think is pretty good. If you have a decently sized TV, the small letter box or the small box that you have to deal with actually isn't too bad. I find it's kind of comfortable too. The GameCube version of the Game Boy add-on, which I have for my GameCube, I think it's pretty damn cool. It plays classic Game Boy and it plays the GBA games, so it's right up my ass, right up my alley. So either way, closing out, I actually felt like the Nintendo side of things did perform excessively well for, at making accessories for all their consoles. The Genesis, it was actually pretty damn cool too. I felt like, Sega did some pretty darn good stuff for their time for their handhelds, as well as their obvious classic Game Boy slash, not Game Boy, their Game Gear, and as well as the Sega Master System attachment add-on for your Sega Genesis. For the Atari Lynx, I feel like Atari could have done better with a lot of their add-on stuff. I didn't really enjoy it too much, but it was fine for what it was.
Danny, just a quick point, just a quick question. Which version of the Atari Lynx did you play?
I could essentially hope it was the first version of it. The one that has weird design.
Does it look like a snowboard?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. It looked like a snowboard going down a hill.
In the redesign, they changed so much, and it's a much better system. It's a lot more comfortable to hold, and it's at least partially portable. So at least Atari was kind enough to address that issue. I think Atari was probably the first company to redesign its handheld like that before Nintendo did, which I always found interesting.
Okay, this is the part of the show now where we ask you, the listeners, to ask us questions for next week's show. So don't be afraid. don't be afraid to ask us anything, Just put it on all out there, and we'll try to answer it for you. Next topic we're going to talk about is the hidden treasures. Now, I don't have one this week because I've been playing a game which is not retro, and I won't mention it because it's taboo. So, hidden treasure. I'm going to go right over to DanVanDam. What is your hidden treasure this week, if you have one?
My hidden treasure for this week is Skyblazer for the Super Nintendo. Or in better words, for those people who do not know what the hell the SNES is, it's basically a very awesome version of the Nintendo. But you get the point. Alright. So it's basically, this game is a very challenging side-scroller. Offers some stunning visuals as well as hard-as-nails gameplay. I felt like this one was a pretty good hidden treasure due to the fact that, well, it's really rare you find a very hard game that's challenging and you actually have fun at the same time trying to learn the curve. But other than that, I think it's a pretty fantastic hidden treasure. You guys definitely need to check it out through an emulation, even though I dislike the name emulation. But you guys can just try it out, at least see what I mean, because I am going to be providing some footage later on within the week. So, Super Dan, what do you have for a hidden treasure?
I went on a little bit of it wasn't really a retro binge. It was more like went looking around town for just random game shops and charity shops and stuff, and I came across Strikers 1945 number 2, but it's the PS1 port. And it's really good. It's like it is a World War II kind of vertically scrolling shooter. But the good thing about it is unlike most shooters where it's literally like you play the game, that's it. This one actually allows you to change the difficulty at the start. So like if you aren't confident or if you just want to run through the levels to know like how long the levels are, you can put it down to the lowest difficulty level is called Monkey. There's Monkey, then Child, then Very Easy, Normal, then Hard, I think. But it's a very, very beautiful game. It's probably better on the Sega Saturn, but for some reason the PAL version for PS1 is very cheap. So instead of trying to import the Japanese version, it's probably easier to get the PAL UK version. It goes on eBay for like £4, if that. So that is my hidden treasure for the week. And like it was released late in the PS1's life. It's probably like a budget title. But yeah, it's a really, really good port.
Alright, we come now to the show where we put out the Twitters. And my Twitter is Vipor29. What is yours, DanVanDam?
So much enthusiasm. How you guys doing? You guys can follow my Twitter. You guys can follow my Twitter at Vipor29. Whatever. I don't care anymore.
I mean, you like don't.
All right, let's do that. Let's do it.
No. We're going with the flow, baby.
All right, guys. Let me tell you something, brother. All the
No. You had your chance, my friend.
You had your chance, my friend, and you No.
You had your chance.
You had your lols. Now it's our turn.
Die.
Alright. You could follow me at /DanVanDam, where I'll sound very upbeat and nerdy. Where Viper, of course, will sound very depressed, like he just lost his cat to a crap game or something. I'm not sure. But how could this happen? Oh, fuck that shit. I'll rage quit.
Oh, fun. I would like to talk about Final Fantasy 13, but it's not the right place to do so.
That is correct.
Oh, that game.
It sounds like we're out of time.
Oh.
Sounds like we are. Oh my god. Is that the buzzer? Oh,
no, it's just my vibrator. Let's get going.
Oh. No.
Alright, guys. You guys have a great week, and we will see you next week.
The world don't move to the beta one, just one drum.
Beat don't move to just one drum. Different strokes it takes. Different strokes it takes. Strokes change the world.
I could, throughout all this podcast, all I've thought of is the Different Strokes theme.
Fuck that shit.
I laughed when that was on last week.
Oh, it was so much fun mixing that in.
Bye.